Okay, so today let's talk about failures. That's coming up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here today. It is a beautiful, beautiful spring morning. We're at the end of March 2019, and what we're going to talk about today is failures. We're going to be talking about what's behind me here, what's left of what's behind me here, and a couple things that we definitely failed at this winter. So we're coming through, just finished up all of our winter tasks, getting into spring. The farm is just bursting into life, just beautiful, and what we're finding now is the aftermath of our nice, cold, strong winter. And one of those is what's behind me here. This is our Barbados cherry tree, or what was our Barbados cherry tree, I should say. So one of the things that we're trying to determine as we go through spring and into summer, and particularly on the new property, is what we've learned here and what we're going to take with us, and some things we're definitely not going to take with us. So let's talk a little bit about that. So obviously Barbados cherry, we're going to be showing you that here today, seeing whether or not we're going to get this tree back. But if Lori wants to scan that way through our pomegranates, one other thing that you might see that we're missing, and I'll link it for you, is a passion fruit vine. So that is our passion fruit trellis, but unfortunately the big open gap on the ground would be where our passion fruit was. It never made it. So this winter we got down into the low 20s, which by the way is what we should be getting down to here in Whitman, about 5 to 6 degrees cooler than where you're at there in the city, but down in the 20s. We hit the 20s several times this winter, just like we should, and it killed our tropicals but dead. What you see behind me here is what's left of our Barbados cherry. Now, I'm pretty confident it's dead because it is not a deciduous tree. It's a tropical tree. It should have leaves on it right now. For the last 3 winters, it's had leaves on it once we've gone into spring, and there are absolutely none. We've done the scratch test all the way down at the base of the trunks. It's brown. So pretty confident this tree is dead. So what we're going to do today, we've been holding off. This is the last thing we have left to prune. You'll see our chipper here, our Sunjoe chipper. I'll link the video here where we reviewed this chipper. We're going to be using that for the last time here this spring to go ahead and take care of this Barbados cherry. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take this thing down. Okay, so we're done. Now, I want to preface this. So I did do the scratch test. You know, you kind of scratch on the bark to see if you see any green, and I was going further and further down. I had done it before we started the video, and I was not finding green. So I knew where we could start chopping and see if we had any green, and guess what? We found green. In fact, I'm gonna have Lori squeeze in. So as we started getting down further and further, Lori was kind of the first one to kind of point it out, but she scratched one of the branches back here and she saw some green. So she was back in here, and then what we saw was actually some new growth. So we actually do have some growth coming way down here out of the thickest part of the trunk. You can see how thick the trunks are down here. So we just kind of cut these back until we started seeing green. Probably could have cut back a little bit further on a couple of these, but we wanted to make sure that it had plenty of opportunity to come back. So now, obviously with this, a couple things that we want to make sure you guys understand. So out here in Arizona, specifically in Whitman, we do get down into the low 20s. We were down to about 22 degrees. However, that's only for a few hours. So right before sunrise into just past sunrise, we stay down at that 20-degree temp, and then it comes back up, and we had those days were at about 45 or so for our high. But either way, multiple nights of 20-degree weather. And this tree is coming back. So now the challenge obviously is production. This tree's not going to produce much this year. The idea obviously is to let this come back, let the growth come back this year. We're going to let it completely go, so we won't do any pruning or trimming. And the idea is to get some more green on this. However, it is going to come back, it looks like, which is pretty cool. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, hey, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on the channel, fruit trees, livestock. We do a lot of things here on the farm. If you haven't seen it already, we're going from this 1-acre farm to our 6-acre flat desert piece of land, turning it into a functioning farm. We'd love it if you would join us. If you haven't seen us on Instagram and Facebook, we're over there. We post content there that you won't see here on the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, hey, leave them in the comment section down below. Lori and I would love to interact with you there. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you.